color harmony strategies. And today Hi, Judith Reedy here at the Creative Zone. I'm glad that you're joining me here. I'm going to be talking about our new series, on strategies. And today, the particular strategy we're going to be working with is the one where you add one color to whatever is on your palette and whatever you're using. And you're going to find that this is a very interesting way to create a certain amount of harmony. But the other topics I'm going to be talking about is the importance of value and how our entire course is going to be structured with color harmony strategies, but really emphasizing the impact that value has on those color harmonies. Because sometimes we think that if we have the right colors, we're going to have a harmonious, beautiful painting. But really, what really makes the impact that we're looking for is the value structure. And in this course, that's one of the things you're going to see. But today, we're going to be talking about adding one color to any of the colors on your palette that you use when you are painting. So let's begin with our painting, and I will tell you a little bit about how that began. So as you can see here, I have a painting that I started, and I thought, I think this would be a good way to teach you all about adding one color to every color on my palette. And I thought, well, I should show you my palette. So I got my palette out and I thought, okay, let's look at, I had Cad Red Light, Quinacridone Violet. I have a mixture of those two, Cad Red Light and Quinacridone Violet. And then I have, it's kind of rolled back here, Sap Green. And to Sap Green, in the middle there, you can see that I've added Quinacridone Violet right there. And right in the middle, I've got, and then to the other Sap Green, I added Cad Red Light. I could also add those colors together, but one thing I did do is I had added Cad Red Light to every mixture I made. So in the end, now you're saying, well, that didn't look like the colors. Well, what I did is I added white. And when the value here of all these various colors that I mixed is virtually the same. So I'm creating a similar surface, but there's like energy and excitement in the surface, even though they're the same value. It seems like a gray, but there's green grays, there's red grays, there's warm red grays, cool red grays. It really makes for an interesting surface. Now, the other thing I'm working on is gradation. From the back, there's a lighter value than in other areas towards the front. So I really am working on those two things, but using all those colors in a high key area. Now, this is not going to be a high key painting, but it could have been if I had changed some other things in the finished painting. But here now I'm going to be adding the shadow. Now the shadow is much darker than it eventually will be, but it's made with sap green and with the various reds added and a white, which makes kind of a gray, but it's not a perfect gray. It's a made with those reds and greens and purples. So we have it's a little cooler, but and then I decided that you can see a very slight reflected light in the white, and I wanted to add that a little bit in the foreground and add a little more warmth to the and next I started working on the background. Now I don't have a true gold, but I can change the value. I can have a value that is darker than the foreground, which is what I did, and I created that. It's a little greener, but it has some purples and has some of those, and they have all the other colors that I had mentioned mixed in there, but they're all related because they've had Cad Red Light added to them. And on the right side, which is upside in the bottom now, you can see there's a little more of the cad red light in there. And I'm catching a little bit more light than I really wanted to, but you can pretty much see because as I'm working with that. So next I start working on the apple. The apple is really initially made with just those two reds, the cad red light and the quinacridone violet. And I add a little white, and eventually I will add some of that green. I didn't use any black in this painting at all. I could have, but I didn't. The darks are made with using that violet and the sap green. But I neutralized the red by adding the green because it's a complement of the reds. And then I add some of the cad red with some white, the violet with some white, and I get a little bit more glow in the foreground. Now it's not as orange as the original painting, but I'm working with the colors that I have, and I'm trying to create the volume using that. Now here, as you can see, I'm working again on those shadows and getting that a little deeper. So after we have worked on the shadows a little bit more, towards the and the apple, you know, I'm just still not quite delighted with that apple. So I keep working the area a little bit. It's acrylic, so it's pretty easy to do. I decided to add a stem. I thought it would be interesting, but all made with those colors. The next thing I start working on is the cup. Now the cup is really kind of a neutralized, but it's very easy to make that color because I have the red and the green, which is opposite. And the saucer is of the same value, or same hue, but a lighter value. And so I was working on that and kind of trying to structure the cup, the handle, give it the slight variations that occur in there, but give it a lot of strength and softening the edges at the same time. So then I have to get the edge a little sharper on the top, but I'm using all variations and a lot of those mixtures together with white, but it is creating a harmonious color arrangement. And so as a result, you see this sort of really, really nice structure coming through, and I'm going to soften the edges of some of those shadows now that I have them in place with a mottled brush a little bit, trying to soften the edges so that, you know, it's not real stark. It is a gradual change. And one of the things that we're going to be doing in this course is we're going to be looking at, we're going to take each color scheme, each strategy, and we're going to look at it with a focus on value structure. We're going to make high key painting, which I'm going to show you what that is. I'm going to show you what a full key painting is and a low key painting, all with the same color strategy and combination of hues, but varying it by the value. And you're going to see how impactful that is. That's even more impactful than the actual colors that we select. Though the colors have an effect, they do. And as you can see, I'm finishing up this little project, and it's kind of exciting because I kept it simple. I'm just trying to give you a feel for how this works, and giving you that same sense. I think I've got it pretty close, and I think you're going to be able to see how that works, and you're going to really enjoy seeing this. Keep in mind that it was the same colors for all of those. So now you can see the finished painting. There's the finished painting. And it's just a 9 by 12. And with the 9 by 12, I was able to, and all our paintings in this series will be on 9 by 12s. If you want to do it on a other size, it's up to you. But these are studies to help you get introduced to the color. And I made a simple, I'm suggesting you use a simple image. I gave you some image to work with, but you can use your own. Try to keep it simple so that you can work through these quickly and really experiment with the value and the color strategies that I'm showing you. One of the other things is I want you to know that this is the color schemes class, which is this one over here, color schemes. That's the one, color strategies. That's the one we're doing today. But I have all these other courses that you can choose from. And of course, you could be a part of my membership circle and have access to much more. So today, I want to thank you for being with me and get to the next lesson. And we're going to be talking more about color harmony and value structure. So until then, make sure to like and follow, and so you can be around for all of these courses and see all the things, the goodies that I have for you. Have a great day, and see you again.